Mike's in Arizona. Hi, Mike. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Thank you, Dave. How are you doing today?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hey, quick question for you here. We've been on your plan for several years now and are debt-free. Just took our 30-year loan into a 15-year loan and plan on having that paid off in 10. So it's time to ramp up and get serious about investing. We've been talking to a couple different ELPs for financial planning. And a question my wife asked last night was, should political affiliation with who we're going to invest in come into play when making a decision?
It's an interesting question. Well, you mean SmartVestor Pros are who you're speaking with, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The primary thing I'm looking for is, can I trust their advice, and can I learn from them so that I can make my own decisions with their advice? And so I think it might be depending on how strongly you feel about political affiliation. If you are a staunch fill in the blank, working with someone that is staunch opposite means they have a different value system than you probably. Right. It's not just a different way of looking at life. It is a different way of looking at life. It's a different value system. And so it might concern me if I were, I'm not like, well, I would get into it, but it doesn't matter. I'm generally going to land on the right on most things, and on some things, way right. For instance, economic issues, I'm libertarian more than anything else. I just leave me alone. That's me, okay, right, on economic issues. And so some guy who is a big Bernie supporter might be a concern to me if it was me doing it, or vice versa. If you're a big Bernie guy and the guy you're working with is like just to the right of Genghis Khan, you may want to rethink that, right? Yeah, that's fair. Right. That's fair because they're handling your money. Now, you're not turning the caveat, the thing that makes it okay if you don't want to lean into that too hard, is that you're not really turning it over to them to make the decision.
Right.
But their worldview does affect the advice that they give you.
So is that a question you think I should bring up? And, would they be offended by that? Or is that something that I should ask in the questions when interviewing?
If it's concerning to you, I would ask it. And if they're offended by it, toughies. Okay. It's your money.
Yep.
It's your money. You're the one who needs to get comfortable here, not them.
Right.
So, if they don't like that, if it's a big deal to you, and like I've got a friend who just is raving about this stuff, right? So he would never want to. He would definitely, that'd be something he'd want to talk about. And then I got other people who are just like, turn the stupid TV off. I got work to do, and they're not worried about it at all. They're kind of, they have an opinion, but they don't spend half their life talking about whether it's Trump or Obama. They've actually got work to do. And they're just not worried about it. And so if you're in that camp, then maybe you don't worry about it, right? And so I'm okay. But yeah, the political thing is not because you can't trust someone of a different political opinion. It's because their worldview is going to, all of our worldview affects the advice that we give. Our beliefs affect our advice. Our beliefs affect our decisions. Now, again, you're not going to invest money unless you understand what it's going into and why. But, an example would be if you really hate Trump and you think that the Democrats actually have a case and that you think he's going to get impeached, and you think that means the stock market's going to crash, then that's the way it affects your advice. You'd be screaming like Chicken Little, like, get out of the market, get out of the market, get out of the market. It's getting ready to go bad. But if, on the other hand, you think this is one big collective yawn, and it's just a sideshow, a political sideshow that actually is not ever going to amount to anything, which is what actually most people believe right now. But if that's the case, then you're not really worried about the stock market, which has continued to shoot up. So your beliefs do affect your decisions, and they affect your worldview, affects your advice. So I've never had anybody ask that, but that's an interesting thing to think about. So, yeah, the more concerned you are about it, the more I would be tempted to ask about it. I have never asked about it because I'm not really that concerned about it. I'm going to make my decisions independent of these goobs anyway. They're giving me advice. They're going to teach me. I'm going to learn. But if they say something crazy like, the market's getting ready to crash, I'm just like, I probably need a different guy because I just don't think it's going to crash. I'm okay. And so, that's you just decide that, right? But I got a friend that's a conspiracy theorist from now on. He believes every conspiracy theory there is. Everything about the world's coming to an end. 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 And of course, he's not investing anyway. So, but see, it affects your. That's interesting. It does affect your investment decisions. I never really thought about it that way.